All right, there we go. Can you hear me? I can barely hear you. I can't hear you at all. No. I'm gonna need something out the frozen section. What up? What up? What up, good people? Who's on today? We don't have our normal intro music just yet. Having a few technical difficulties. We probably got some topics to talk about that might interest a few people. Got a little basketball, little preseason football, Hall of Fame. Maybe more Olympics, baseball. Good stuff in the news. There's my man, Mr. Hard Knocks himself.
Hard Knocks.
We waiting. I scanned all over that show trying to figure if I can grab a quick glimpse of the man. I didn't get it in episode 1. I'm sure I'll get it in episode 2.
Okay. Yeah, I was out there a few times, so they might have gotten me. I'm really not sure, and I didn't watch it yet. I've been stuck on The Walking Dead.
Yeah,
I did finally watch the season finales of all my Showtime shows, The Shy and Black Monday and Flatbush Misdemeanors, but I watched them about a week late, and so I'm just trying to get caught up on The Walking Dead. Please be quiet. I'm trying to get caught up on The Walking Dead, and then I'll get caught up on this other stuff. But I feel like I have to watch Hard Knocks. I'll probably watch it on the plane. I'll probably watch it on the plane on Friday. I'm in Houston.
That comment caught me by surprise. I guess we got a new one on here today, and now I know who it is. That's Mr. John Butler.
That's funny. Both of you to get back on Domino's. Okay, Butler.
That really caught me by surprise. What up, JB?
Where is he? What? I don't even know that logo. Where is he checking in from? Is that Twitch or the other one? I can't tell.
I don't know that one.
Or is that Twitch or Periscope?
Mr. E-Dub is on.
Yeah, what's up, Elaine? Checking in.
I'm sure they call her E-Dub in the Bay.
Episode 72. Let me see. I was trying to doing this differently. I'm not in my office. I'm actually on my iPad. I was gonna do it from my laptop, but it was okay. There it is. So give me a second. I'm about to get situated for my laptop. Go ahead, Ron. Take it away. Kayla, be quiet. All right, go upstairs. You're done. Go upstairs. Wash your hands upstairs and go to your room.
So I guess we can start off with all the drama about the free agent signings. everybody's been on Dennis Schrader, formerly of the Lakers, about accepting his 1 year, 5.9 mid-level exception to the Celtics, and turned down $84 million from the Lakers. And it was a bad move. If you're gonna bet on yourself, you really need to ball out. You don't need to go through the season playing half speed and then stink up the playoffs. You got to ball like you want the money, even if you are jacking up shots but aggressive with it. You have a better chance of getting some money. Maybe not the whole 84 you turned down, but you got a better chance of maybe even getting 60. I can believe that. Elaine. But he had a better chance of at least getting most of what he wanted if he had just played aggressively. But then
you talking about Shooter?
Yeah.
What did he get? Who is he with?
He's with the Celtics, and he signed for 1 year at $5.9 million mid-level exception.
And you saying he had a player option with the Lakers?
Well, he turned down $84 million off the top from the Lakers. So people are saying that he's stupid for turning down all that money and betting on himself and ending up with $5.9 million.
Unless he's the MVP this year, then it works.
Right. But then when I kept digging, his situation wasn't as bad as Victor Oladipo.
I sent you a screenshot of that one, buddy.
Oh, okay. Well, I saw it.
Talk about it.
I saw it, and then you sent it to me. But he turned down $121 million from Indiana to re-sign, then got traded and turned down $45 million over 2 years, and ended up signing for 1 year veteran minimum. That is a lot of money lost. He should fire his agent.
Now, okay, so here's my question. Why should he fire his agent instead of just firing himself? Because ultimately he makes the decisions, right?
Yeah, but your agent your agent influences your decision. Most of the time, players going to listen to their agent's advice. I think is not the common thing for the player to say, "Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but no, I'm doing this." I think normally when the agent says, "Hey, this is why you should do this or that or whatever," the players normally, go with what they're saying because that's what they hire them for. They feel like they know the market and they know what offers are coming better than the actual player does. They're getting the information. They're talking to team management. So I don't know. Someone's giving some of these guys bad information, and it wasn't just Schrader, and it wasn't Schroeder, and it wasn't just Oladipo, but there was a list of guys who took that I'm going to bet on myself approach and lost a lot of money during this current free agent period. But then somebody like Lonzo Ball, who didn't have a good season, he cashed in. And that's the difference. Rich Paul still got that man 80 plus to go to Chicago. The Menace deserve that. Yeah, you know what? And some people have said that he turned it down because he didn't want to be a Laker. It's hard to say because I never thought that he wanted to be a Laker, but I also thinks that he is one player that's about the money, and that if he got the money that he was asking for, that he would have stayed with the Lakers. I don't think I don't think he would have wanted to go anywhere if the Lakers had given him that $100 million contract that he was asking for.
So we're still talking about Shooter.
Yeah, somewhat.
What did they offer him? You say out the gate, 84.
They offered him 84, and
okay. Well, okay. So what does that mean, Elaine? Because listen, none of us play in the NBA. What does that mean? If you think you're worth $100 million, is that greed or is that, like Rod said, betting on yourself? I mean, 84 is not that far off from 100, so they might have thought he was worth 100, but just didn't want to give it to him.
I don't know.
Do you agree that he got greed? I don't like talking about greed when it comes to professional athletes who are playing for billionaire owners. That's a tough one for me. But where you stand on it, Rob? Oh, you know what? Let's kick this off. Episode 72. It's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you without a podcast in step 2. Think how many weeks pods you slept through. Time's up. I'm sorry I kept you. Yo, this is episode 72, and we back in the building. You know what I'm saying? We on a weeknight. I'm here with my man Rod. We invited Trey last week. He didn't show up. It's all good. I'm gonna invite him again right now. See if he comes. He ain't gonna come, but I'm gonna invite him. I hope I'm wrong. Prove me wrong, Trey. Yo, prove me wrong, Trey. Just having one as a guest. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to come through, guest? Come through, guest. But yeah, week 72 episode strong, and I don't know if you guys have done the math, but 52 constitutes a year, and we're 20 beyond that. So we are rolling. I'm loving what Rod and I are doing. And
we can't keep losing. We can't be losing hosts like The Walking Dead.
We started off with too much cargo, so I'm glad we got rid of Benedict Arnold. Nope, I'm not saying anybody was Benedict Arnold. Like I told you before, we did start off with too much cargo, but people make their own choices, bro. Like that's if we lose anybody else, this is you. It's my shit. I'm saying. I hope you're not going anywhere because I'm not going.
If anybody can get it in our show, like
no, man. I think here, this what you are, Rod. Hold on, let me find it. You always got something queued up. Here you go. Hey, but go ahead, respond to Dietrich while I pull up.
I'm going out like Brother Mouton from The Wire. If I'm going out banging.
Wait, I listen, don't be celebrating him. He killed our guy, man. Well, my guy. Man. He killed my guy.
Brother Mouton was a hog.
Brother Mouton killed my guy. So I don't want to talk about Brother Mouton.
So I agree, Dietrich. Nothing wrong with betting on yourself, but you do have to be realistic.
Those who believe in rhyme, so they know the spirit and the light. True as a brother make his way in life, shall he make it uncontrollable towards any of the beat. First, let me explain it. I'm a hustler. Now, here's an example of what a hustler was. You got two things.
Bad and good, and there ain't nothing in between. So if you guys are missing it, that means Rod's untouchable. And get with it. And of course, I'm untouchable. Hey, Rod, I just want to let you know, brother, you untouchable on this podcast.
That's what I'm saying.
Untouchable.
That's what I'm saying.
There you go.
There you go. But yeah, Dietrich, you got to be realistic with it. I'm all for betting on yourself, but if you're gonna bet on yourself, like I said before, you can't half step it.
Z.
What's up, man? My boy just turned 7.
Hey.
Birthday, brother.
Hey.
You gonna say hello to everybody?
Birthday.
Yeah, he's gonna be the only boy in the house left next week. You ready to see your brother go away to college?
No.
That's your playmate, right?
Who?
Rod.
He barely plays with me.
Man, please. Go on. All right, you had your 5 minutes.
Please do not kick me through the screen on my leg or anything because I got beat up today at the park.
What are you talking about?
I'm literally
Go on,
serious. The guy kicked me when he was
You'll
coming
be
down.
all right. That's playground stuff.
When he was coming down the slide,
Yeah,
he kicked me on my leg.
That means get out the way.
And he's like, do you want to?
You taking airtime, man. Go ahead. You had your high time. Man. Oh, you still got one up too?
Absolutely. She was she was eating moments ago.
No. He got out the shower and was getting ready to just walk into the screen.
Oh yeah, of course. So Braylon, boy, I can't get these names right. Braylon is at cheer practice. Brianna's with her. So Kayla's here with me. Brianna's not home yet, and because we're on the podcast, Brianna's gonna put her to bed, put Kayla to bed. So yes, Kayla's still up. So hi everybody.
Hi.
Hey Kayla.
It's episode 72. Say episode 72.
Episode 72
of the Collective Podcast.
Of the
Collective Podcast.
Collective Podcast.
All right.
Did you have fun at school today, Kayla?
Oh, Rod's talking to you.
Did you have fun at school?
School?
You have fun at school today?
Yes, but now it's too dark, so people have to go to bed now.
Yeah,
that's exactly right.
Yeah.
And your dad, I don't understand why he's still up, because old people go to bed at 5 o'clock, so they don't have to pay a light bill, but he's still awake.
And so for everyone who's not clear, that means Rod is old and doesn't understand how anybody can still be up, even though I'm young. So there you go. So Elaine said, hey, cutie, you need to record that for your intro. Oh, I need to record that for my intro.
Yeah.
Yes. Say bye.
Where am I going?
You're going upstairs. So I can run.
What are you going to do to them?
I'm going to talk to them. Go upstairs, baby. Say bye.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Bye, Daddy. I like your haircut.
Thank you, baby. I appreciate you. I love you. Go upstairs.
And your hair chin.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate you. I like your haircut too. I know, and you're not getting one. I know, you're not getting a haircut anytime soon. So Dietrich was saying that the COVID protocol came at the worst time for Schroeder, or as Rod calls him. What does Rod call him these days? Schrader. Rod just be butchering people's names. I want you to know, listen, anybody out there watching or listening to this podcast, it's not personal. Rodney does not care about how to pronounce anyone's names that he doesn't know personally.
You know what? What
he can say Caldwell Pope, but then
you know what's funny about that?
What?
I've been speaking German since I was 13, and I just don't look at him as a German.
My goodness, do you hear this? All right, say Steffi Graf, or say it how you would say it.
Steffi Graf.
Oh my goodness, you could say Graf, but you won't say Schroeder. He doesn't be honest.
Well, because of the way they spell it in America, there's what you call a umlaut over the O.
Over the O.
And they never put a umlaut over the O. So I just say it the way they write it.
I got you. Yeah, umlaut. And see, Rodney knows all these things because he was part of everyone's language, just because of his being part of the history of the world. There is no E. Okay, so
no.
With the umlaut. All right, I'm about to give it to y'all because Rodney wants us to. So here we go. This is how you spell it, and let's see if Rodney says it correctly now. Bam, Rodney. Say it.
That's how you write it.
So say it.
Denise Schroeder.
Oh, he flipped the first name too. Goodness gracious. Maybe you are German. Wait. You've been speaking German since 13?
Yes.
Oh, 13 AD? Okay, thank you. Got it. It was Rodney said it was one of two languages, so yeah, I speak it.
But you know what's funny is I just did it because I thought it was easier than speaking Spanish. And of course, I'd never had anyone to speak German to, so I started kind of forgetting the language. And then my sister-in-law married my brother-in-law, Frank, who's from Germany. So go figure.
Go figure, but don't go fish. All right, cool. All right, so we talked about Oladipo. We talked about Schroeder.
Lonzo
Speaking
Ball.
of free agent, well, he got what he wanted, right?
He got more than he wanted. That's what I meant by your agent. You know, he wasn't. I don't think that there was a market willing to pay him $84 million. He talked up on it because Lonzo Ball had a better year than previous, but he didn't have a good year.
So I'm going to fight you on that, and I know that you are anti Lonzo Ball, but he had his best year.
I am pro Lonzo Ball.
And what is he? What is
Always
he like?
have been.
8 and 8? I mean, come on, man. You hating on 8 and 8?
8 and 8 is not a good year. He was 10-7-7 his rookie year with the Lakers.
So it might not have been 8 and 8. Maybe it was 10 8.
He was 14.
Oh no, it's 15.
Yeah. 14.9 or something like the 14.8 or something, and 7-7, I think.
No, it's 8. Or maybe it is 7-7. You don't like 15, 7 and 7 from a point guard who you say can't shoot?
Not for $84 million, though.
Well, how many years, Rod? You just throwing a number out. You act like it's for 1 year.
No, for 4.
Okay, so $21 million a year. You want him to get an Oladipo contract?
That's a lot for that.
Is that a lot for that, Rod? You would. So let me ask you this: would you take 15, 8 and 8 for a point guard for the Lakers going into 2021?
No, that's what Schroeder gave us.
And you wouldn't take that?
No, because he didn't do anything.
And
15.
Well, here's my question. So, Rod, you actually just proved my point. They offered Dennis Schroeder $84 million to produce 15, 7 and 7. Lonzo Ball produced 15, 8 and 7. So boom, $84 million. He said, "There's the bar." They offered it to Schroeder.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Both had the same numbers. Both were offered 84, but I don't think that is worth 84.
What's the max?
That I don't know.
Yeah, right.
But this is how I feel, and maybe
we know that you are anti-Lonzo Ball. You just won't admit it.
No, I've never been anti-Lonzo Ball.
Okay,
I was the one person who was elated when Magic drafted him. I'd never been anti-Lonzo.
You went to UCLA. Hold on, you weren't the one person. Go Bruins. Go ahead though.
Okay, I'm anti-LeVar Ball. I've never been anti-kids.
Okay,
I want the kids to do well, and I wanted LeVar to do well at first before he started making all these emotional decisions, and everybody still hollering, "That's genius!" Like, no, the hell it wasn't.
So what you're saying is, even though you have two kids that were in the running for Rookie of the Year in their rookie seasons, and a third kid who is looking good in summer league, he's no Richard Williams. That's what you're telling us. So people should stop pretending like he is.
Yes.
That's fair.
Yes.
That's fair.
I think he's great. LiAngelo is his first game, 16 points in 15 minutes. You can't ask for better than that.
Right.
The boy was balling. Against Sacramento, even though he was in double figures, he didn't have a good game. As far as the turnovers and getting beat on defense, I know people just kind of focused on the offense, but I was looking basically all the way around to see like his decision making. And I'm kind of anal like that. I don't know if everybody else looks at things the same way I do, but I'm thinking, if I'm a GM, is he showing me something to make the team? That particular game, I would have said, no, he doesn't look good. Even though he scored a few baskets, yes. He didn't play terrible. He just didn't play like he played in game 1. So, he still has a couple more games to leave a good impression, and he can very well make the team because his shooting form looks different. His body looks different. Physically, he looks amazing. He can play the part. But I think he also has to play with a little bit more speed as far as his first step and and going by people. But if they utilize him correctly, because all the talk is he's the best shooter out of the three by far, and if the coaches capitalize on that and say, hey, this is how we're going to use you to spot up on the wing to do what you do best, he'll look amazing. But if you try to make him do something that he's not comfortable with, he's going to look bad. It's always in the coaching. You have to coach what people can do and not try to force them to do what they can't do before they learn how.
So what you're saying, Rod, is what you always say. You can't coach to someone's upside.
Not until they get there. No.
Right. Well, if they get there, then it's not upside. So yeah.
Right. But he has definitely improved his game. I mean, I've been watching him, I guess since he was in high school, where they were just sending him down on the other end of the floor and throwing a long pass to him at the free throw line. And then he'd bully some little small guard to the basket. He's much better than that now. He can, like I said, if they play to his strengths, if they really want him to make the team, he will. But they have to put him in position to do that.
Okay. What's the double last name guy that used to back up Schroeder?
For the Lakers?
No. For OKC.
That got traded from the Clippers. I know who you're talking about.
No, I don't know his background, but didn't he get a big contract too?
He got a huge contract. He was traded from the Clippers to OKC.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know his background. I didn't know until I saw him play, and I talked to you about. I was like, look at this dude play defense. Couldn't shoot he couldn't shoot a balled up piece of paper in a trash can.
Then it says Alexander. Is it Alexander Gilchrist? Is that it? I think that's it.
That's not who I'm talking about, actually.
But he got over 100.
But that's not who I'm talking about then. I'm talking about the guy who can play defense, but his offense. But they would bring him in and he would make some threes. Hold on, let me just get his name.
Yeah, Gilchrist Alexander. That's him. He just got over 100 million.
All right. I need to see if this. No, see, that's not who I'm talking about. It's not a hyphenated last name. That's my fault. The guy I'm talking about has what seems to be a German last name. I'm talking about Dort. My bad. And I don't think Dort got a contract.
No.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine.
At least not a big one.
Yeah.
But Gilchrist Alexander can play.
Probably still hanging on. Yeah.
He was well on his way to a big contract before he left the Clippers. They traded him to make that Paul George trade work.
So Schroeder, defense. Let's go back to this. Dietrich,
Does defense? It would for me. I don't know if it does for everybody, but if I'm paying you big money, I expect you to be able. If you only play on one side of the ball, you need to be elite on that side of the ball. If you
talking about James Harden?
Right, James Harden, or
it's only like one of them.
Say again.
Only one of them.
Well, I mean, Lou Williams is not a great defender, but he's elite on the offensive end, and he's not as highly paid as James Harden, or is not looked at in the same way. But Lou Williams can go get you a basket. But you got to do something really well. Schroeder is quick, and I understand why they like him. He has the skills to be really good, But if you don't put those skills to use, what good is it? I mean, he's careless with the ball. You know, he'll get a quick basket to the cup. He might even get a 3-point play, and then the next 2 times down, he'll turn the ball over.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but so what good is that? And that's why I never thought that he was really a key for the Lakers. Like I've been saying for the longest, let him go. Because for what he brings to the table, you can get that from anywhere. You can find another guard that can with AD and LeBron on your team. Anybody can come get 15.
But are AD and LeBron really on your team though?
Well, AD not so much.
Okay. I'm just checking.
I'm
being facetious. I know what you mean. If they're healthy,
yeah, but I mean they open up a lot for you know the players around them, and with so much attention being paid to them, if you're just spotting up shooting or you know getting shots off of a double team, you should be able to knock something down to get in double figures.
I just want to throw something at you, and you may not believe this. I believe that Lonzo Ball would average 18 assists if he played with this cast of characters. Not with Russ, because Russ is the one now distributing the ball. But I think if he had AD and LeBron to throw to, there's stuff in the seat, right? Don't sit on it. Just knock it on the floor. Look at the seat. Knock it on the floor. I think he'd average 18 assists, and I think you'd view him differently. But that's just my take on Lonzo Ball.
I definitely think Lonzo now would be great with the Lakers. I didn't like
7 minutes ago.
Huh?
That's what I asked you 7 minutes ago. Oh, you just didn't want to give him $84 million. I get it.
No, I don't think that's worth $84 million. Now, I'm not saying he's not a great player, but for me, giving somebody $84 million to get you double figures, that's and you know what? It might be me because the market dictates what they get. And it wasn't always like that. And if the market says that's what he gets, that's what he gets. So I'm trying to say it again.
But the other thing, Rod, is don't a lot of people get paid off, not off of upside, but off of the fit, right? So I don't know the other pieces in Chicago, but they're trying to build something. And maybe he averages 12, 13 assists next year there in Chicago. I
think Chicago is just doing whatever the hell will bring a few fans in the stadium, honestly, with the moves they're making. I don't see
your godbrother money. So didn't they have to give Lonzo exponentially more than your godbrother? What's the little guard's name? The little guard who's 6 something. You know, the LA crowd favorite. What's his name? The white guy. The white guy. The Lakers. There was only one.
Oh,
where you at with
there you go. I knew exactly. I knew there was a reason why I said they're just doing any old thing. Yes.
Yeah.
Now you pay him almost $40 million to play point guard, and you already signed Lonzo Ball to play point guard for 84.
Listen, we got the regulars. We got Elaine on here. We got John Butler tonight. We got C. Cotton. What up, C. Cotton? He back. Yeah, Caruso. Yeah, Rod. That, you know, if you go give him 40 million, you give Lonzo 84.
Why do you? So basically, you've paid $120 million to point guards. That's most of your cap. And then you're paying big money to DeMar DeRozan, and you still have to make sure that Zach LaVine gets his money. That's stupidity to me. Why DeRozan and Zach LaVine are playing the same position? You're gonna move DeRozan to the 3, which yeah, he could probably play the 3.
Did DeRozan get money?
Yeah.
I mean, did he get paid, or did he have to settle?
Not a max deal, because you know now it's based on if you're first, second, or third team All NBA. So first team All NBA gets supermax deals. Second
So
team.
basically the Toronto signing of Kawhi Leonard in the rest of DeMar DeRozan's life.
Say again.
The trade, the DeMar DeRozan Kawhi Leonard trade that ruined the rest of DeMar DeRozan's career.
I don't think so.
I mean, he took his championship away because they were going to win with or without Kawhi because DeMar DeRozan was going to get him there. And then now he can't get money. They were right there, right? They were there.
They were right there with Dwayne Casey.
I'm not saying they're the same. Let's be clear. But you had everybody injured in Golden State. Let's be clear about that too. So you only needed to get through the East that year. And I think they were I had them picked to get through the East before the trade. Then it was a no-brainer with Kawhi. But they were going to get there.
Well,
I told you Milwaukee was.
You have to play a little bit of defense, and you have to be able to score in different ways. And Kawhi can do things that DeMar can't.
Have you met Kyle Lowry? Wait, hold on a second. Let me say what C. Cotton said. Shooter choked in the playoffs, and he was embarrassed. That's why he's not on the Lakers. He passed on 84 million. Get that bum out of here. Hey, this is a guy who plays basketball at a really, really, really high level, C. Cotton. So, yeah. If he backs up what you're saying, Rod, then I'm gonna shut up. So
it's true.
It's law.
The tapes don't lie.
And who says it's law? Yo Gotti? It's law. All right, see Gotti.
You know, I always say the tapes don't lie. The tapes don't lie. He stunk it up.
As long as you don't say the ball don't lie. I
do too.
Oh my goodness, the ball lies all the time. Have you met Shaquille O'Neal? He couldn't make a free throw, but that doesn't mean he wasn't fouled. He was. All right. Can we get a moment of silence for Chucky Thompson?
Yes.
Chucky Thompson, phenomenal hip hop and R&B producer. Think of any hit from the mid 80s to 2010, and he probably had a hand in it. And he passed away on Monday, August 9th, 2021. So let's get a moment of silence for him.
From COVID.
Wow. See, I didn't know. He was one of the hitmen. So we all know Stevie J, mostly from TV, but he was another one of the hitmen. And he was probably the biggest one of them all. So let's have a moment of silence for him, and then I'm going to play one of his hits real quick. All right. This is one of my favorites from this artist, and I won't even have to introduce it once I press play.
One time. Yeah. Yo, all I need is one mic, one beat, one stage, one nigga front my face on the front page. Only if I had one gun, one girl, and one crib, one God to show me how to do things. It's Sunday, pure, like a cup of virgin blood, mixed with 151. One sip will make a nigga flip. Writing names on my hollow tips, plotting shit, mad balance. Who I'm gonna body? This hood politics is down.
Nas, one mic. Chucky Thompson, rest in peace. All right, let's see. Yep. All right. Yeah.
He said exactly what I said.
Right, and that's what. Go ahead, Rod. You can read it.
Yeah. Today's players get paid based on the market, most not worth the cash. And that's just what I just got through saying. I have to try to wrap my mind around people getting paid based on the market and not what they can actually do on the floor. And today's 15, 8, and 6 is not like it was 15 years ago. I mean, with Euroball, you can get those numbers just in a matter of minutes. You don't have to play 37, 38 minutes like you did before. He's not getting the same kind of 15, 8, and 6 that let's just say the Mark Price was getting in Cleveland back in the day, where you actually had to find people and move the ball around and actually go get a rebound versus somebody shooting a three and the ball coming off long to you, where you can get a fast break and pull up for three without setting up plays like they do now. I mean, it's horrible when I watch the NBA. I'm honest, it's horrible. No one, a lot of times they don't set up a play, they just launch.
Well, here's the thing. One thing that I want you guys to know, it's not just me who knows that Charles Smith just missed another putback. I was watching something on Pat Riley the other day, and he mentioned that Charles Smith just missed another putback. So that was hilarious because he was in the midst of talking about Phil, but then he mentioned that Charles Smith just missed another putback. That being said, just like that resonates for me, when Rodney talks about max players who are not max players, it always goes back to the first one he ever talked about to me. And unfortunately, that's Mike Conley. Rod, that was the first one that Rod said, nope, not a max player, but he's getting max money. And then I think that's when he really realized that it was just about the market, not necessarily about the ability. And maybe it is a lot about the agent. See, Kyle can talk about this. Really, so it's the market, but if the agents are doing what the agents need to do, or the representatives are doing what the representatives need to do, then they can convince you that someone belongs in a particular tier, even if they may not belong in a tier. But again, the players are setting the market. Again, I don't think that there's greed. I think that there is a lot of times people are not informed on what they are necessarily worth, so they wind up in a Victor Oladipo situation. Dietrich is letting us know that or is letting Rodney know that they're not paying $120 million this year in Chicago, so there's still some cap space beyond those two players.
Like I said, you still have to pay DeRozan. He got three years, $85 million. You still got to. Zach LaVine is all NBA. You're going to have to give him all of his money, or risk letting him go, which they're not going to do. And then you got the rest of the people on your team.
Well, I think so. So I don't know. I don't know. We're gonna have a talk. So I don't know what the cap is. Maybe we'll talk about it next week.
Yeah.
But
and the cap is not growing because they lost money last year.
Okay, but do we know if they reduced it last year and so maybe it will grow? I don't know, because I mean they lost money in the bubble year. Mm-hmm. We'll see. But to your point, they seem to just be giving money away. But I think Lonzo's in that tier to get that. I don't know that Caruso was. That's the funny one for me. But if you're gonna give Caruso that money, you damn sure are gonna give Ball that money. That's what I'm saying. Because what if you just had Caruso? And I'm hoping that the Lakers didn't offer him anything near that to stay. Dietrich is also Elaine. Yeah, they offered it to him when he came to the Lakers, when he came to the team. They offered him an extension. I remember that. They offered him an extension then, and he said, well, let me just play the year out and see what happens. Ooh, let me tell you, I'm not playing the year out. I'm just not in this climate. Because you see what happened to Isaiah Thomas. Yeah. The new Isaiah Thomas. That wasn't a good move. Right? The new Isaiah Thomas. You see what happened to the new IT. So you got to just get that contract.
I'm unless, all for it.
Unless you're Dak Prescott, and you're not.
If they offer to, you'd be a fool not to take it. I mean, but I say the same thing. I think I say the same thing when we're officiating. You can look out there and sometimes see a game where you like, wow, they put that person on that game and they're not ready for it. Like you can tell that the game is clearly over their head. They're out there, they're lost, and it looks bad. But then I think from the other side, well, when that person got the game, were they supposed to just decline it and say, well, no, I don't want this game? Like it's no fault of theirs. You offered them the game as an assigner and felt that they should have it, or you wouldn't have offered it to them in the first place.
Word.
So they took it.
Yeah.
And if they stink it up, you can't blame anybody but yourself. You can't blame the person. They're just in the position that you put them in. So I never blame the players for taking the money because they're being offered the money. If it's being dictated by the market, and the market is saying, hey, pay old slow Rod.
Talk about Marcus.
You know, I'm coming out of retirement on my 54th birthday.
Your 254th birthday. Okay.
If they can get 84 for 15, 8 and 8, I know I can get something.
Oh my goodness.
Something.
We cannot listen, we cannot discredit NBA players by you saying that you at 54 who never played in the NBA can go play in the NBA. You got to stop this crazy talk, right?
I can hit a spot up. I can hit a spot up shot.
You got to stop talking crazy.
I can hit a spot up shot. I'm going to see Rich Paul when I turn 53.
Rodney, it's more believable that Lil Rod could go play in the NBA right now than it is to say that you could go play in the NBA. Just stop. Just stop. By the way, he hit me up and he said, "I know my dad be watching me out there. I'm ready to take him one-on-one." But he said, "You're not ready for him anymore."
Not by a long shot.
He just remember in 9th grade, but this is 4 years later. He said he's ready for it.
I got way too many tricks of the trade. He would never win.
Well, of course, you created basketball, so like that's easy. Dietrich wanted to remind you that you need to put your Betamax away and stop talking about viewing the tape unless you're talking about the tail of the tape in boxing. He's all about players getting their money. This is blasphemy. Brian Grant was worth every which Brian Grant? You talk about Miami Heat Brian Grant or which team? Portland? Who are you talking about? Because there were different Brian Grants, even though it's the same person. And are you talking about Rashard Lewis in Seattle or somewhere else? You got to qualify this. And these are both big men who were not afraid to like mix it up in there. So I don't know. Like I don't want to compare anybody from that era to anybody in this era. But tell us what you mean.
And those two players were proven vets who have been putting it down for a minute. Rashard Lewis was one of the best shooters at the time he got his contract in the league. And Brian Grant, Portland had a whole stable of great power forwards with Brian Grant, Rasheed Wallace. They had they had a Jermaine O'Neal. I mean, like they had a stable. And all of them got paid, but all of them were really good. And Brian Grant didn't get a max salary. He got really big money. He didn't get max, but at the time, contracts were getting bigger at that time. So yeah, he earned his money. Rashard Lewis earned his money. Mike Conley, he put it down too, but he didn't put it down for 5 years and 150 million. That's crazy.
Listen, Dietrich rides with all the right teams. And so I generally ride with Dietrich. Elaine, love her. Outside of the Android stuff, I usually ride with her. But I don't agree with this Brian Grant, Rashard Lewis thing. So that's my take. I don't agree. Now here's Mike Prudhomme.
What up, Mike?
I know this is Mike's first time on the show. So Mike, thanks for coming through. AD isn't worth max. And I listen, in this climate, AD could probably play 18 regular season games, and as long as they make the playoffs, he could show up for the playoffs and be quote unquote worth the max. So that's an interesting one. I think he could play a whole season and still be injured in every game and leave every game with tripping over a feather. So that's a weird one for me, Davis.
You know what's a trip though, but that's the way the league has gone. Like people are trying to play the least games and get the most money and show up for the playoffs. Around the league, there are still some hogs out there that are old school who play every night if they can. Russell Westbrook is Lonzo Ball is
two Bruins. Hey, go Bruins. Drew Holiday.
Steph Curry is one. Drew Holiday. Like if these guys are not injured, if they're just hurt, they're still playing. And Steph Curry didn't have his normal supporting cast around him last year, but he still came out there and put it down 100%. And
say it again about Steph.
Steph didn't have his supporting cast out there last year. That team wasn't the same, but he still came out there and put it down and had them in contention for the playoffs.
And was the MVP of the non-Europeans.
Right. And there was never a talk of, oh well, Clay's not here and Draymond is banged up, so we're just going to shut him down for the rest. There was Steph Curry. There was never talk about that. And if anything, I respect him way more for that than I do anything else. Because I lost respect for Kawhi because I thought Kawhi was a hog before, and now it's just one thing after another.
Well, let me tell you something. Listen. Okay, so I'm not gonna go as far as to say that I lost respect for Kawhi, but remember how I used to blow Kawhi up?
Me too.
But I was on this like, yo, Kawhi's my guy. Listen, when you build in these, what are those days called? I forgot what the term is. But when you build that stuff in to your agreement, to your contract, while most everyone else is playing every time that they can, I don't like that. I don't like that from a team concept. I don't like that from a perspective. I think as an elite athlete, especially with having taken the time off that you've already taken off, you're not taking the punishment that Jim Brown took. Me too. You're not taking the punishment that Jim Brown took. So, you need to leave after 8 years or whatever, or was it 10 years, 9 years, 10 years? Taking every third game off is nuts to me, and that messes with your chemistry. So to respond to Michael Prudhomme, the Clippers already showed us that can't work, Mike, with someone just showing up for the playoffs. Remember, that was the bubble season when they didn't have the same lineup more than 3 times. And it was taking games off and people being injured and all of that. Well, that happened last year with the Lakers with Anthony Davis, tripping over his shoestring and sneezing on a feather and all that stuff that put him out for games and games and games and games. And LeBron, games and games and games. Yeah, you made the playoffs, but you faced the number 1 seed.
Right.
And, you had a shot at facing the number 2. Oh, no, you faced the number 2 seed. I'm sorry. You faced the number 2 seed and got shellacked.
And now at some point, the owners are going to get pissed at this because I'm sure if we see what's going on, they obviously see what's going on. And they're going to probably come to the collective bargaining table and say, you know what? We're going to start hitching your paycheck to the games you play. If you're only going to play 40% of the games, you're not getting $200 million for over 4 or 5 years. We're going to cut that down because they got TV deals. They're not going to keep doing that.
And that's where Rod and I differ. I believe that, especially in the case of Kawhi Leonard, that shit is built into the contract. I believe that, you let a Tyronn Lue know, before he signs as the head coach, like, hey, the same thing that was in effect last year with Doc is in effect this year. He's contractually obligated to play in 66.7% of the games. And it is what it is because 66.7% of him is better than 100% of a lot of people. I believe that that's what the thought process is. And as long as they play 100% of the playoff games, he's not taking a rest day in the playoffs, it's all good. I think it's just not good. That's my opinion. We got to wrap it up soon. So baseball. My man Mookie came back butchering defenses and butchering offenses because he is the only 6'2" player in the league, but his hip is sore. So he's back on as of today. Well, they're retroactive. He's back on the 10-day IL, and they retroed it back to, I want to say, Monday. I think this is only Wednesday. So they retroed it back to Monday. So he'll be back or eligible to come back next Thursday, which will be 10 days. So that's Mookie. We did pick up Scherzer and Trey Turner, and Turner is leading off, and he's doing okay there. I know that he was 1 for 5 today and did score a run. And when we came on the podcast, the Dodgers were up 6-2, and then they got 2 more, so they were up 8-2, and I don't know the result. Hopefully they held on.
Yeah,
because
so
we got 2 in the top of the 9th, so it was 8-2 going into the bottom of the 9th. Hopefully they held on.
so Dodgers won.
Okay. Elaine, if you want to be welcome on this podcast, you will not play with Mookie. This is not a game. Listen, Anthony Davis is tender love, and it's only Anthony Davis. And if you want to throw some more people in there, it won't be Mookie, who made all those phenomenal catches at second base with the injured hip. Like, you're not going to do that because Anthony Davis will sneeze and be out for 4 days. Days.
Mookie gets banged up going hard. I can't say the same thing for AD.
Yeah, we're not doing that. But you want to bring up AD once again? There we go. So Elaine, that's you guys get one free. That's your free one. Yeah, I need y'all all to know. We're not doing anything with Mookie but praising him on this one. Okay, that's all. Because I let y'all know when he was out there in Boston, which y'all were missing in LA, and then he came here, so we came together with David Price. David Price, who by the way got an RBI double tonight. Shout out to Jordan Brand, which is not me, just for you. Good night, honey. I gotta go get food for mommy and daddy. Good night. Love you. No, you know I didn't eat. You were here with me. Say good night to everybody.
Bye-bye. Good night.
I love you.
Good night.
I love you.
Only one of him.
See you in the morning.
Only one of him.
Well, look, there's Rod, but then all these people are commenting. So there are other people that are watching us. Okay? I love you.
Okay, I love you.
See you in the morning.
Bye, Mommy. Okay, Mommy, I'm coming.
I know what that's for, Elaine. Thank you. Elaine said night-night. Dietrich's ready to talk baseball. So listen, I truly feel like the Dodgers are the best team in baseball and win the World Series, but I think that they're going to be playing the ALCS in San Francisco. These dudes will not let the Dodgers gain any ground. It's just nuts to me that they are doing just enough to stay 3 to 4 games ahead of the Dodgers. It is just crazy. What you got, Rod? Dietrich wants to talk baseball. We got like 5 minutes left.
You know what? At some point, well, San Francisco was on a high in the last couple of weeks. They railed off like 10 games in a row or something like that. And they stretched the lead over us for like to 4 games at one point. I'm sure that at some point the Dodgers will, by the time the season ends, I think the Dodgers will be either neck and neck or a game or 2 above. That's my prediction.
Oh, you think that?
I think it won't happen at once, but I think eventually the Dodgers will catch them and pass them for the division title. But man, when it comes down to the playoffs, I mean, you got 3 teams that will probably be in from the National League West: San Francisco, the Dodgers, and San Diego. You know what? I don't know what San Diego's been doing since Tatis has been injured. I don't know how many games back they are of us. I know they're still in the playoff hunt. We're at the top of the wild card list because we're in second place, obviously. But I don't know how far back San Diego is. But I know they're still up there.
They're in the playing game right now.
Okay. So, we could potentially have 3 from our division, which is, that will be tough in playoff time because 2 of them are going to beat each other up early, which would make that second round rough.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm just gonna go on record saying that I don't care what you say, and I love Grisham. He's their center fielder. But they're not scary to me. That's not going to be tough. Shout out to the National League West, but the Padres are not going to be tough. My take. For the Dodgers or the Giants. My take. All right, so here's what we have at closer. I know that everybody wants to panic. And I know what Rod's been going through for all these years while I was a Red Sox fan and, winning World Series and all that, and Rod was at home blue, having ulcers because of Kenley Jansen. I understand now, what Kenley Jansen takes us through on this roller coaster ride. But from a save percentage perspective, you'd be happy to know that Kenley Jansen is 8th in the entire league of Major Baseball.
Yes.
He's 8th.
He started off hot.
He's 8th.
Yeah.
And he likes to make things interesting. But with that, the Dodgers are still the 3rd best record in baseball. And it's not all him, because some nights we got shut out during this little run by the Giants. So it's not all him. And then we lost, we even lost 1-0. So we need some bats to get going. Uceda was the one who got who got the hold tonight. No one got a save because it was 8-2. But I just want you to know, Kenley Jansen is 8th. And I believe that'll be the bottom for him. Like he'll move back up.
I pray you're right, because some of those head-to-head meetings were on him. Like,
well, yeah, it was 3. It was 3 of them in
at
4
least
days.
3.
No, it was 3 in 4 days. Well, it was 3 in 4 days.
Yeah.
2 of them were
right in that particular series, but over the course of the season, that's the difference in us being in first place.
Well, he's 1-4. So I'm gonna stop you there. He's 1-4. So that's a 3-game net, and we're back by 3.5 games. So that's not true. We'd be a half game out. So not in first place. That's all I want to say. I do understand that Kenley Jansen causes anxiety. But Kenley Jansen is on a hot streak right now. Even though he gave up a 2-run home run his last time out. He got the close. He turned it into a close. So is that cheating? When you go in for a hold and you give up a 2-run home run and then you get a save? I mean, he turned it into a save. That's what I meant. Is that cheating?
Maybe he was, trying to get an bonus or something. I don't know.
Because it was 6-2, right? And then he gave him a home run, and then it was 6-4, and we were on the phone. I was like, Rod, I gotta go. It's crazy. I gotta go. Yeah, Kenley Jansen, I love him. Listen, he's black, right? He's black, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, how many black
American, but yes.
have there been? Like 7, 8? Lee Smith is the second greatest of all time. But,
No, do you mean is he black American or just black in general? Because he's not American.
He's not American?
No.
Really? I've never heard him talk.
No.
And I just got him. I thought he was black. So he's not black American, but he's just black. Okay, that's cool. So then, then there have been a lot of them. Then, is he from what is he? Is he Dominican?
I think he's Dominican.
Let him be Jamaican or something. Let's see what Kenley Jansen is from. Anyway, all right. I thought Dietrich had stuff to say. Oh, he doesn't want to talk about baseball. Okay, bad. All right. So football. Dak Prescott is still. They can't figure out what's wrong with him. I hope everything works out for him. I hope they lose every game, but I hope everything works out for him. I don't like the Cowboys. I do like Dak Prescott. I do like Ezekiel Elliott. I like them. I don't like the Cowboys. I'm a 49er fan. Shout out to Dietrich. But then again, I think I like the Packers about as little as I like the Cowboys. So of course you want the Packers to lose every game. And Don't know what Aaron Rodgers is going to do next year, but he's clearly gotten his ticket out of there, so he's going to be leaving soon. Yeah, and then Trey Lance is clicking at the heels of my guy, Jimmy Garoppolo. But Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be the week 1 starter. Trey Lance will play. That's what they say. They're disrespectful as hell to the 49ers, talking about we're going to be 3rd in the West. Y'all stupid. We're going to the Super Bowl. I don't know what's wrong with y'all. All right, Rod, close out.
Rodney's in the shower.
Man, I'm gonna try to
Take that information.
see if I can catch a few more of these summer league games. I really like Darius Mitchell from Baylor. He defensively, he's a monster. I mean, a monster. He's like one to watch for me, and he can score. Super strong, lightning quick. I think he's going to be one to watch. The first pick, Cunningham, he looks good. But those are two people that I'm gonna keep my eye on when the season starts. Other than that, I'm gonna keep trying to cheer for my Dodgers. Keep having these mild heart attacks when Kenley Jansen has a runner on base and walking somebody, waiting for him to go away when he gets that final out. And wait for this NBA to start, man, and be ready to skip my son to Baltimore. That's what I'm waiting to do.
What? So, Rod, I know you're from this side. Well, you're from Baton Rouge, but it's called Baltimore. It's not a T. It's a D. It's called Baltimore.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm kidding. I know that you know that because you spend a lot of time there. I'm joking. I know that you know. You knew before me because you knew before The Wire. And I didn't find out until The Wire.
Yep.
So I can from The Wire, understand that.
Yeah. It's weird that my son is going to be right up in it.
Wow.
Yeah. Weird. Scary and exciting at the same time. But I'm excited. He'll be fine.
He'll be fine. I'm trying to figure out what to play by Chucky Thompson on the way out since I already played one mic.
I mean, you could play basically anything by Biggie's first album or Mary J. Blige or Faith Evans because he's produced mostly all of their stuff early on.
Yeah, I am going to play this by Mary. No, that's a remake. I'm not gonna play that. All right, hold on. I am gonna play something from My Life though. He did that whole album. I'm going down.
No.
I know.
I didn't think that was a remake.
I said, are you listening?
Yes, but I just had to throw that out there. I didn't think that was a good remake. She should have left that one alone.
Well, speaking of remakes, the legend. Listen. You know what I didn't like? Mariah Carey and Luther Vandross.
Mariah, which song?
Endless Love. I thought it was terrible. Endless Love.
I didn't think so. I think it should have been Luther and somebody else, not Mariah.
Well, it was.
I don't think it was terrible, but yeah, I agree with you.
Not terrible vocals, but a terrible cover. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
A terrible cover. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Well, I guess how about I just play My Life? That's not a good one. So Elaine was saying that Mitchell is the business. Gruden will last his whole contract, right, Rob?
I hate to say it, but yes.
I mean, they didn't sign him to win. They signed him for the pub.
Pretty much.
Congratulations to Elaine retiring.
Elaine, where's the party? I know there's going to be a retirement party. So make sure we get invited to the retirement party.
Yeah. Listen. This is what I need y'all to understand what happened. Then I got to go. Rod was part of the first retirement party. And what it really was Rod finished building the ark and said, I'm not working anymore. And there was a party for everyone who was like building Noah's ark. And so Rod, who was the only one who wasn't working anymore, was retiring. And that's how retirement party started. They just threw a party for everyone, but the focus was on Rod. So, you know.
Now I'm gonna tell you the last retirement party I'm throwing. Since I threw the first one, I'm definitely throwing the last one. It's gonna be AC's, and I have already invited the Little Women of LA to be strippers for him. And
okay, see, you talk about taking stuff too far. Rod, leave it to Rod.
Hey man, is this not the collective podcast? Can we talk?
Leave it to Rod. Hey, listen, check it out. This is episode 72 of the Collective Podcast. Thank you all for coming through. C. Cotton, Elaine, Dietrich, John Butler. Can't wait to say Domino. Anybody? Oh, Michael Pudon, thanks for coming through. I don't think I missed anyone else. Other people viewed but didn't let us know. We appreciate you. Stay safe out there. Love your family. Let them know. Love your family. Let them know. And make sure your kids are reading. Reading is a lost art. Please make sure your kids read. All right.
Thank you, Dietrich.
Rod had the first cruise on the ark. Shout out to Jay Moore. See, Bruins. Go Bruins. Go Bruins. Go Bruins. I got to get to the habit because I placed my order. Supposed to pick it up at 9:50. Gotta go. Hey, much love. If anybody wants to see my first football game, it's on September 2nd in South Dakota, and I can send you the streaming link. I'll be in Rapid City. Hey, we appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Thanks for coming through. Episode 72 of the Collective Podcast. Like I said, we'll catch you next time. We appreciate you.
One time. Yeah.